you know I'm on my way. I'm on my way.
Danse. Ani jgogin. Ego Atlanta. John Langan. Agaya se mutsigasan. Ego wapas dem nehiaunet zigason. Kiskusot otsenia. Ot. Egua masquako gichiok. So, good day. My name is John Langan. That's my English name, and my native name is Whitehorse. And I also come from Pîkiskwewin First Nation from the Bear Clan. You know, I like to open it up first by acknowledging that I am on the Treaty 6 territory. And, you know, I like to add a little bit more when it comes to doing treaty land acknowledgements, you know, and I always like to say, you know, this is the homeland of the Nehiyaw, the Nakoi, of the Assiniboine, of the Dakota, Lakota, Nakota, and the Métis. But what are treaties? You might be asking yourself that question. But when you think about it, treaties are nation-to-nation agreements. So when you talk about, like me, Pîkiskwewin First Nation, and you think about Beardy's First Nation, or even Kanawage, you know, just way over to the east, or other brothers and sisters. Those are nation-to-nation agreements. In the history of Treaty 6, it was signed on August 23rd and 28th, 1876, and on September 9th, 1876. So when you think about that, it was hard to gather all of our old people and all of our chiefs together in order to sign in one day. So in August, they signed in Fort Carlton, and then they made their way to Fort Pitt in September, as it was hard to gather all of our old chiefs. But in saying that, when you say treaties, by that very fact, because you always see, as long as the sun shines, the grass grows, and the rivers flow, will this treaty be valid? And you talk about the spirit and intent of that treaty. And First Nations people should not be penalized for operating in good faith. Because these treaties are not merely transactions to us. They're not real estate transactions. It's not like, oh, I sign off. They mean much more to us. They are spiritual. They are living. They were signed over that pipe. And when you put that stem of that pipe and that stone of that pipe together, you're asking the Creator to come down and to witness. Because that's what I was told about those pipes is, you better have a darn good reason why that pipe is being put together. Because we're taught at a young age not to play with them. So, our old people back in the day thought about future generations so that they would be respected and protected. Because they thought long and far into the future. So that is what you mean by honoring that spirit and intent of those treaties, because it is meant to guide our relationship as we share this beautiful country that we call Canada today. So sorry for the fierce treaty land acknowledgement. I just like to add a little bit more, just so people learn a tad bit more about them. Today I want to kind of talk about where I should have started. Actually, I should have just started with just stema, like tobacco. You know, I was always told growing up, you know, when I was a little young person, because people probably thought I wasn't paying attention, but I was. Little did they know John was paying attention. I mean, it took a few times for them to kind of get it through my thick head. But I was always told tobacco is the first thing you start with. And yes, people have these questions, they ask me a lot, like, oh, chemical tainted. No, it's, you have to get away from the physical way, the physical mindset, and start thinking on a spiritual mindset. I don't know what the heck's going on my nose. With a spiritual mindset. Because if you start with tobacco, back in the day we were told it was just the size of your mouth, so like a pinch. So some ceremonies you go to, they'll hand you a pinch, because that's it's like a filter for our mouth, just in case we said the wrong things that may offend some people. So in saying that, that's what it should always start with, because it's like a currency. For instance, I just got done at Truth and Reconciliation powwow, and I got asked to carry one of the flags, and I was trying to be picky and trying to ask for the Treaty 4 flag, but there was not that flag was taken already, and there was one around First Nation, and I have some ties to there from the boat heads, but he handed me tobacco, and I thought, if I take this, I got to do it. So I took it, and that's like our form of payment. It's like our currency. So in doing that, I'm obligated to do what they ask me. But if I don't feel comfortable in doing what they're asking me, I'll just ask them to take that tobacco back respectfully, and to ask another person to do it. But just little stories like that just kind of shows, like even this other time, I was talking to a person because my dad wanted somebody to start taking care of his pipe, and it was a family pipe. There's all different kinds of pipes, but I got asked to take care of it, and it wasn't my time yet. But I remember speaking to this old man. I was at the University of Saskatchewan, and I was asking him, like, how do I take care of it? Like my dad, he's not physically able to do it, and I had tobacco, and I was about to give him, but he was saying that he said it in a nice way, but he didn't want to help me, and he didn't feel he had the right to do so. At the time I was just very naive and young, and I was just kind of frustrated, but now that I look back on it, it makes sense, because that's a big thing, like to ask a person to try and do that with a pipe. So that's tobacco. So just stay mal. So yeah, always start with that. So if you ever want to approach an old person for language, if you ever want to ask information, even from a knowledge keeper, even if it's just one smoke, that's another thing I was taught, because it kind of goes back to that pouch thing. It kind of goes back to that little pinch or that pouch. It was just one smoke. That's another thing I was told. You never put down what a person can afford, because not everyone, like what I believe in, starts in the same starting line in life. Not a lot of people can help themselves. So if a person comes with you with just a pinch or just with a smoke, then you help them. Help them with whatever kind of information or whatever kind of help they need. Because you always got to remind yourself, and I have to remind myself, who I'm working for. I'm working for the Creator. This other time I was going back home, and I was so used to going to a bunch of other sun dances, and then I went back home, and I was just tired. Because I was watching dancers and singers. They were working too. Me and my son were working, and other sun dances I've been to, they'll at least pay me like a pouch or a pack or whatever. This one time I went to one of my first sun dances I tried to help with. I brought tobacco and I tried to give it to that old man. He's like, oh, no, I give you tobacco to help me. So I went there, and I wasn't given anything, but I was trying to be sour. But my wife always puts me in line, so that's why I always believe, on a side note, Indigenous women are solid, because they put us men in line, and they have that ability to give life. So me trying to act stuck up, not stuck up, but just having a sour one. My wife just reminded me. She's like, "Who do you work for?" And then I looked up and I said, "The Creator." She said, "Exactly. That's all that matters." And after that, I just kept working. And I guess that'll move on to my next thing, which is gift giving. So, along with the one smoke, and a gift, has to come from your heart. It could mean the most to you, like me, if I was to give away something here, it's a good, well, not my bubbly, but just like an eagle feather or my roach, which are the things that mean a lot to me, but we must give those things away, because I was always told, like, are you gonna die with those things? No, you're not. So try get yourself away from the concept of materialism. It's hard. It's hard. But don't give up on that aspect of trying to get away from material, because I can't wait till me and my wife go upon her. So that's sorrow for dying or dead. Go upon, and hopefully we go together, and because we all have that appointment with death. Everyone's always afraid to speak about that, which I am too. But that was one of the first things we had to experience. That's all part of life. We all have that appointment with death. Each and every one of us. And yet we're so scared of it. But in our beliefs, we move on to that spirit world. And our whole purpose in this life is to reestablish that link we have with the Creator. We had with the Creator. So when we're born as a baby, it's like our mind gets reset, kind of like the Men in Black when they... And then we spend this whole life just trying to get to know the Creator again. Trying to reestablish that link. And it's hard, but we all have that appointment with death. And even that is a ceremony in itself, because that's one ceremony people don't like to speak about, But I was always told, it's a very powerful thing that I'm teaching to my people back home, and correct me if I'm wrong, but back home I was told, because when we get buried, I get buried with 4 matches, I think they are broken in half, and then 4 smokes. So when I'm in my casket, when I'm done my physical life here, because this body is just lent to me, and our spirit is being right here. That's why when I smudge, I always try to rub it here, So when I'm done here, I go through 4 days of darkness. And in those 4 days of darkness, we light up one of those matches per day. Burns all day somehow. But and then we give our smokes to our one that's been walking with us throughout our whole life. Mine's my ikan, so mine's a wolf that's always been walking with me, and he or she or it protects me and walks with me throughout these days of darkness. And I go through all the wrongs I did in my life, and I explain myself for things that I've done, how I was feeling, what I was going through. And as I carry on through each day, through darkness, and finally on that 4th day, that's when those ones that passed on before me are there. They're there waiting for me. And we have a feast and we just munch out. Sorry, when I tell stories, I always try to find funny ways to say it. The things that I'm sharing with you or take a lot of years to understand and to acquire. Even I got told something which makes sense to me, and I want to make sure I get it right here. So one year here in the physical world is just about 1 day in the spirit world. So us on this world, we have to wait such a long time, and to suffer on this physical world. Yet the ones that passed on don't have to wait too long. Maybe a month or so, maybe a couple weeks. But to us, it's years, years. So, no, that's glad I shared that because, you know, I always like to share information with people. And I know the ones that are watching this, you know, I know you have a lot of respect already if you already took time to reach out. But no, you know, that's what I believe in is not learning too much. Because what I'm giving you right now is a lot. Right now I'm talking to a Canon camera, but I can feel the people that are on the other end already. And I just want to thank you for listening, and I'll be doing more. So I hope today's video, what we spoke about starting with tobacco. We got into gift giving, but then I kind of evolved into why we're on this earth and that appointment that we all have, which is death. What a way to begin, eh? It goes from talking about all of us having gifts and all that, but and now to this video, which is crazy. But no, I'm glad that I did my background and all that too, and because the last one I was using the black one. But tell me what you like. If you like this colorful one with Saskatoon in the back, I actually took that picture myself. And there's my roads that I use in Powell. There's a Treaty 4. There's a award I got from the army, and there's a Treaty 6 flag as well. But other than that, thank you very much for listening, and Moises Wapimpton. Hi hi.
Just calling to let you know I'm on my way. I'm on my way.